maybe say some fun stuff.
I hate when I click around in Discord and go live, because then bad things happen. I'm sorry.
You're staring at yourself.
No, I wasn't staring at myself. Somebody sent me a picture of a target they had shot, like almost dead center, and I was like, "Oh, nice!" And it was like the target and Courtney's face up in the corner. And that was what we were live on it, because I am dumb and do dumb things.
Well, how do we learn?
Beatings.
Or doing dumb things and learning from the experience.
Just beatings. Hi, everybody.
Hello.
I hope everybody's doing well tonight. If you're watching and here amongst my friends and players, it is Tuesday at 8:00, so that means that we're about to play, or Tuesday at 7:00. That's almost 8:00, to be honest. But we are here. That means we're here. Soft reset. It means we're here to play Dungeons and Dragons. So yeah, let's play Dungeons and Dragons before Ronnie makes things bad again.
Hey, what's the DC on making the DM's hair fall out?
You all already hit that. No, that was a critical hit.
I feel like Ellen Teal hit that single-handedly.
No, it was definitely a group effort.
A few sessions ago, maybe.
Maybe. Yeah. No, that was actually interesting to me.
I haven't.
Worrisome, but interesting.
Look, if we keep this up, Bert, like, that town's not going to have anybody left. We'll just kill them all.
Yeah.
Not the little old lady who sells the pies, though.
Speaking of which, we still haven't gotten, like, any materials for her.
That's a different little old lady.
Oh.
Completely different old lady. Mal, you were not involved in the little old lady who sold them meat and berry pies.
They were delicious.
They essentially, like, meat pies and berry pies. And they were essentially, Mulgar threw up, and then your all's past adventuring partner ate one and passed the crap out. But no, Elrin was in a euphoric state, but in that euphoric state, he was also incapacitated, like had to be carried by
A wagon.
wheelbarrow and wagon to the next destination. So, does anybody want to tell us what happened last week? And be nice.
We did some stuff.
Okay, so we made our way to Kresk, and the city leader, the mayor, was very hesitant to let us in.
Correct.
Ellen Teal managed to talk her way into the city.
And not murder him.
And then we decided to check out the shrine to see if we could find the holy symbol, because the mayor, again, was relatively adamant that we should not go up to the Abbey. And I can't remember who had the idea, but somebody had the brilliant idea to dig a tunnel under the gazebo to see if anything was under there.
Mm-hmm. It was a good idea.
Whereas our bird friend was like, oh, maybe there's an underwater tunnel that leads there.
Man, you were not giving up on that idea.
He wasn't. We finally managed to excavate this stone box that our lovely DM went into excruciating detail to describe the inside and how beautifully lined in red velvet it was, just to go, psych! That's where we're going to end tonight's session.
Your princess is in another castle.
Oh, and we have to leave this town by sundown tomorrow.
Yeah.
We'll leave this town in ashes if they don't quit.
No, he gave you till the evening. Remember?
Yeah, I said
Yeah, the
sundown.
evening the next day.
Oh, sundown. I was thinking you said sun up. I apologize.
Yeah, no, sundown. We have it like 24 hours left, I think.
Yeah, y'all got some time.
But yeah, inside of the box was a note that said that what we seek is indeed in the Abbey.
The princess is in another castle, just like he said.
Yep.
After we were told that, no, you don't need to go to the Abbey.
Finger guns, real quick before we get really started. Remember, if we reach 200 followers, I'm doing another giveaway. And if we reach 15 subscribers at any point, 15, I will do yet another giveaway. 15 and 200. So keep that in mind. Also, we got some fun stuff coming up as Misfits and Miscreants, as a group. We got some really cool stuff coming up. I've told you all beforehand that we're going to have a little shindig planned with Ernie Gygax Jr., who is coming to Burlington, North Carolina to run some games and hang out with us for a little bit. So we'll be posting more details about that and announcing more details about that very soon. Because that's going to be at the end of July. So that's really, I haven't been talking about that a whole lot because we've been keeping it really, really secret. Like, so secret that I didn't tell any of you guys really, until it was solidified. And, but we just wanted to make sure that we weren't speaking on something that wasn't going to happen, because until we got that solid yes, hey, yeah, we're, we'd be, I'd be happy to come down. We weren't going to really say anything. So we've got a solid yes, and we got some solid dates, which will come in the future. Other than that, we got a bit of a special thing coming up around that time too. But we're going to keep that one on the DL for right now, and I will let you all know about that at a later date. Your princess in this is in another castle. Most of you guys already know about it. And if you don't, I will probably look at you and say, I swore I told you, but you know how scatterbrained I am.
All I'm saying is Tuesday Night Crew is the best crew.
We also have another crew that plays on every other Saturday, and this coming Saturday is Trouble in Winterhold. Now, the last time we played, which was not last Saturday, but the Saturday before last, we took a little different turn on it. We played a game. Wade surprised us and said, hey, we're going to play something different tonight just to break it up a little bit because, we wanted he just wanted to, just like our Christmas game, just do something a little different just to get the creative juices flowing. And we played a game called Silent Memories. And I'll be uploading that to YouTube as well, but it's still on here. So please check it out. It was such a fun game. Such a fun game. And it's basically no rules in a Jenga tower. Or not no rule. Well, yeah, no rules in a Jenga tower. It's really cool. So with that,
Did you ever find out what happens when a Jenga tower falls during that game?
Do you ever find out? Yeah. You sure do.
You just got very close to the microphone.
Yeah, I didn't I? I'm sorry.
ASMR Ronnie. Go check out that other YouTube channel.
My only stands ASMR. Not gonna say the other one. So anyway, yeah. So last time, Jacob gave us a very good insight into what happened. You all felt duped, but you weren't duped. It was just not there, and you found out close to the evening, as what passes for sunset in Barovia is starting to hit, that your holy symbol of Ravenkind is not there. It is, in fact, in the mysterious and almost forbidden abbey that is on the hilltop. And calling it as a hilltop is very misleading. This is a small mountain. And you can actually see from the pond that you all are at, and from the area where the gazebo is, you can see the trail that switchbacks up to the Abbey. So it actually starts almost back at the beginning at the front gate of... You can hear that music, can't you?
Mm-hmm.
Is it too loud? Is it distracting? Okay. It's very distracting to me because it does sound like weird. I don't know, but I like it. It almost kind of matches. But the beginning of that trail breaks off. I mean, the switchback begins where this road ends, from the beginning, the main road that forked off, and you all followed left through the town. The switchback road is lined with trees on the bottom. Just like I said, we discussed before, this town could be more of a sparsely wooded forest than anything. And it is here that I want to ask you all, what would you like to do?
Okay, remind me what time of day it is?
It's getting close to dinner time, if not a little bit past. You had time to do your thing, but he told you that dinner was promptly served at 6. Show up or don't eat.
Okay. Now, my next question is, being from the spine of the world and 10 towns, do I think that... I mean, we know that it's not smart to be outside of city walls after dark.
Well, being in Barovia for as long as you have, you know it's not smart to be outside the city walls.
Well, yes, that was my point there. My question about being from the spine of the world is, do I think that based on the semi-treacherous nature of the path up to this abbey, that we'd be relatively safe, even though I don't think it's technically within the city walls anymore?
Technically it's not, but it's on top of a mountain. So from where you are, you can actually see. So the bottom, we'll say this is the front gate right here. If you're looking at my camera.
We cannot see you.
Why can you not see me?
It's switched for me, you're just the spinning dots.
I can see you.
Who else can see me?
Let me try this.
Okay. Bye.
I can see you now, Ronnie.
Okay. So this is the front gate. So it kind of angles out. And then this angle goes a lot longer and goes around. Mm-hmm. And you're up here. Okay? So from here, the wall goes down again, but stops. And there's a giant, almost like a guardhouse / pillar. But that is butted up against the mountain side. So it's almost like a natural wall. You know, where the man-made wall stops, it goes into the side of the mountain. Same thing for the other side. As you're looking on the right side, it goes straight right into the mountain. And there's another tower / pillar right there.
Okay.
So you're looking at like kind of like this, and right here is the Abbey.
Okay.
Well, hold on. Let me do something real quick. There you go. Can you see that okay?
Yeah.
So here's your Abbey. Here's the wall. Your mountain range is right here. And right here's the switchback road. Main gate's down here.
Okay.
I vote we just go straight to it.
Yeah, that's my vote too.
You want to go straight up?
Yeah, we're strong.
What about the other two members of the group?
Cool with it, but I think Mal's kind of muted right now.
He is.
Oh, I was muted. I'm sorry, my bad. Let me check my spell slots real quick.
It was bad. Like I can hear him talk in the back, but
Okay, I have no first level spells, but I have everything else.
Needs first level.
Do we need to take a, like...
The question that I'm going to propose to you, would you all like to rest up before you continue on? Or would you just like to go ahead and get this over with?
I say we rest.
I think
We don't really...
if he's down on a full level's worth of spell slots, it makes
Yeah,
sense
we might
because I'm
wanna
also
rest.
down on hit points. Not a lot, but I'm not at full hit points.
What we can do is we can go back, we can rest, and after our chores in the morning, because we have to help with the farm, then we go straight to the Abbey.
sounds good.
Yeah.
Okay. So you know that you would have to make your way back to the mayor's house, where they're going to have dinner and prepared for you, and you can sleep. He said he has places for you to sleep. Hasn't really expressed where, but there are places for you to sleep.
Did he ever tell us when we had to feed the pigs? Or
No.
when we had to do our chores?
Does everybody
No,
remember
so we
their
can do it
specific chore?
whenever. I remember mine.
I think I'm milking the cow.
Mm-hmm.
I can't remember because I thought I was milking the cow.
Oh, well then maybe I'm getting eggs.
No,
One
you're
of
yeah.
y'all is getting...
Kaylin, you're gathering eggs. Elentil's milking cows.
I'm feeding the pigs.
Enoch, I
I'm
can't
doing
remember what you're
something
doing.
I'm doing something with plants, I think.
Yeah, you're like getting the like herbs and stuff
Mhm.
on the farm. What are you doing, Dad? Or Enoch?
You heard it here first, folks.
Enoch's as
Interesting.
bald as Dad.
Enoch had a Birdman as a baby.
Interesting.
I did take a level in Bard.
You did take a level in Bard.
That Bard College.
I guess I'm building a barn?
No, we gave you specific ones. And that was so
I'm doing dishes from dinner the night before.
no, those have already been done, sir, or will be done. All right, so Kaylin, you're gathering eggs.
Yep.
Mal is slopping the hogs. Elentil is milking the cows. Mulgar is doing his gathering bit. And Enoch is chopping firewood.
Oh yeah. Okay.
Oh yeah, yeah, he was chopping firewood.
Oh. Right, forgot about that guy, sorry.
You make your way back to. Hold on, I'm reporting a bot.
Oh, I should have been in there. My bad.
You're fine. No,
Is
you're
it-
fine. You're fine.
Malware?
Don't send your bots up in here.
I don't want your free followers or paid
Paid
followers.
for followers.
Yeah, right. All right. So, you make your way back through the town. You notice most people are off, away from their chores, and if you do see somebody, they're actually heading. Looks like inside their homes. It is dinner time, and they are prompt. And as you make your way through the town, you get to the mayor's house, and I would imagine someone knocks on the door. Okay.
Yep.
And he opens up, and he's standing there. This time in more relaxed clothing. This is his houseware. You know, a simple tunic.
He's in his PJs.
Oh no! 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 Nope! 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 Quit! 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 There
what
we go.
happened?
More bots.
Nope. It was a dumb thing I did. So anyway, he's not PJs, but it's more like, you know, just simple around the house wear. Simple pants, tunic, belt, you know, things like that. And he opens the door, and he has almost a disappointed look on his face. And he's like,
Hey, it's you.
please come in. Dinner is on the table, and we have plenty to go around. And he shows you the way in, and he looks and he says, each of you will be sleeping in the loft tonight. It is a small room, but you all will find plenty of places to sleep on the floor. I assume you have sleeping bags and such. Not sleeping bags, but you know, your
Bed
blankets. Yeah, bed rolls. He says, well, unfortunately I do not have enough blankets to go around, so I'm glad you do have your bed rolls. Please come in. He shows the way to a modest table. And you notice that it's just him. But he has set places for each of you. Sorry, I don't know why I stuck a piece of candy in my mouth. He has set places for each of you, and there's a large pot of steaming stew in the middle of the table. And a plate of this big flaky chunks of bread, and it looks delicious. And he stops and he stands behind a chair at the head of the table. When I say a modest table, it's still a pretty long table. You'll have to squeeze in a little bit, but everybody can get there, get around this table. And he stands behind his chair and he goes, "Please, I will fetch some ale. Not ale, but I will fetch some wine. Help yourselves to the stew." And he walks away for a moment, and the table, it smells great. There are simple wooden bowls and spoons that are sitting in front of you, and cups. 5 places set for you. And are you all going to sit down and partake of the stew?
I'm going, as he's leaving, I'm going to say thank you very much, and then I'm going to sit down and start eating.
He just kind of mumbles something and raises his hand as he's walking away.
I'll wait
I
till
mean
he
it.
gets back.
He's only gone for just a little bit, and he comes back holding 2 bottles of wine. And the label is Purple Grape Mash number 3. And he sets them both on the table. He takes one and he uncorks it. And he starts pouring about a half a cup for each of you. And sets it down. And he's like, please, help yourselves. Guests eat first. And he just stops and looks at you. Like, are you going to eat?
I'm eating already.
Yeah, Morgan sat down already. He's like,
Ah, yes, the people who can cast, restoration spells.
So, okay, Mulgar and Maul are eating. And he just waits on the other three.
I'm eating too.
I'll take a helping.
Okay.
I'll put some into my bowl and offer to fill his bowl as well.
And he says, no. And he takes a spoon from you. And he takes the big ladle. And he pours himself a big helping of it. And sits down and takes a big chunk of bread and just starts devouring it.
Now I eat.
Yeah, no, yeah, same.
In my head, I knew that's what you were doing, but as the mayor, I'm not going. He didn't really care. To be honest with you, and he doesn't really offer up any conversation. He just eats and drinks wine. And he just looks up every once in a while. And then looks back down and eats.
The next time he looks up,
Uh-huh.
I'm gonna tell him, lock eyes and go, awkward, right?
You'll have to forgive me. I do not have many guests here.
That's okay.
We do not allow many outsiders in. This place
we
is...
appreciate it.
And he just kind of nods and he goes, this place has been a safe haven for a very long time. And I've made sure that no one is going to get hurt under my watch.
I have a question. So,
Yes.
I don't really want
DM or mayor?
Mayor.
Okay. Sorry.
Maul 2.
Okay.
So, I noticed that there weren't many guards on your tower or on your wall. And it perhaps looks like you had a shortage of people. What's going on there? Is everything going okay?
He stops. And he looks at you. And he says, why is it that you are taking count of my men?
I mean, it's pretty obvious to notice when, you don't have many people here at all. It's just noticeable.
There aren't many people here. As I said, we don't allow many outsiders in. We have as many men as we can spare on the wall. But they are every bit as trained as I can make them. And beyond. Pardon that flute. I don't know where it's coming from.
Coming from me.
Okay, very good. Yeah.
Yeah.
And he says, the wall is very strong. It has kept many people and many things out so far. We have enough to watch over who is behind the walls now. Which is another reason we are hesitant to let anybody in.
Okay, that's fair enough. And I continue eating. Thank you for answering my question. I'm kind of sticking my beak into my cup, trying to drink it.
Puts a straw in it for you. Not really, no.
I look at the mayor now.
Yes.
And I said, I know you told me before that the Abbey was to a god who's abandoned you long ago. But what can you tell me about its more recent history?
He's thoughtful for a moment, scowling as well. If the Morning Lord were concerned with anything that was happening here in Barovia, he would have... Kenny, stop. I can't concentrate. I was just kidding. You're fine. If he were concerned with anything that was happening here in Barovia, it would not be happening now. So I will tell you this. I have nothing for the Morning Lord. And the Morning Lord has nothing for us. As far as I'm concerned. You want to know the recent happenings? With that cursed Abbey? That place is full of dread and horrid things. It is all I can do to keep it there and my people here. We don't leave this village for the fear of werewolves and dire wolves and just regular wolves. I mean, there are... It's horrible. There's all monsters. About once a month, the only person that comes here is we get a wagon load of wine from the Wizard of Wines. The Markovia family treats us well.
And would I recognize that as the name of the...
Yeah, y'all know the Wizard of Wines and the Markovia family.
Yeah, I just wanted to make sure because there was the druids that were clearly doing stuff there.
Oh yeah, no.
Yeah, I wanted to make.
You know, he just knows that the Wizard of Wines is where they buy all the wine for the village.
Yeah.
So, he says the Abbey of Saint Markovia is named after a priest of the Morning Lord who took a stand against the devil Strahd. After a fierce uprising, Markovia and her most loyal followers stormed Castle Ravenloft, only to be destroyed. Once a hospital and a convent, it fell upon hard times after the lands were swallowed by the mists. Most of the clergy, they fell prey to Strahd, while others went mad and either starved themselves to death or found ways to feed themselves amongst those who have starved themselves to death. There's a head of the Abbey, and he's simply called the Abbot. I haven't seen him, but he arrived about a century ago, and apparently hasn't aged a day since. He occasionally visits the Shrine of the White Sun, but he doesn't talk much, and he demands tribute in the form of wine. No one here knows his true name or where he came from. Many here have said that they believe that he may be Strahd in disguise. I do not put anything into those rumors, but I know that he is not right, and he has been here since I was a boy. No one here visits the Abbey anymore. No one. The Abbey's bell rings at odd times, day and night. Sporadically. No rhyme, no reason. And if you listen really close, sometimes you can hear screams and horrible, inhuman laughter that can be heard coming from this abbey. So, you ask me why? I don't want you going up there. I don't want anything to befall you. And most importantly, I don't want you to release anything that is going to come down on my people. You had a question.
Don't worry about it.
You sure?
It was player to DM. Yeah.
Go ahead, ask me.
No, I'm good because I remembered I answered it.
Okay.
Because we've heard the bells
You have.
as soon as we almost got into town.
Mm-hmm.
So that was my question. Have we heard the bells?
Mm-hmm.
We did. So
At a really odd time of day.
I mean, everything's odd in this town, in this area.
Yeah. And he looks at you and goes, now, finish up. We awake at before dawn. We have chores to do. And he points to a small ladder. So when you all came in, there is a definite living room situation going on with a few chairs. And where you all went is one room back. And that is a kitchen / dining area.
Mm-hmm.
He walked off to the left to fetch the wine from what you all can only assume is a pantry of some sort. And he points behind him next to that pantry. There's a small ladder. When I say small, it's not like an actual ladder size, but it's almost like it's almost like something you would see on a kid's bunk bed or a tree house or something. And he looks and he says, you, large one, what is your name?
Mulgar.
Mulgar, you sleep down here. You're too large for up there.
Oh, you can't.
And if you're scared, you can have someone sleep with you.
I'm not scared.
I'll do it.
Enoch was very quick to volunteer to sleep with Mulgar.
Mm.
We do not judge here in the Crest. We're very loving and accepting people.
And I'll whisper very loudly, it's because Ellen Deal snores.
Yes, she looks like it.
That she does. That she
Now-
does. Like a chainsaw.
Something
What's
tells
a
me that's the
chainsaw?
player, not the. Now stay up, or go to sleep. I do not care. I will be in bed. You put your instrument away for the night, or I have sleep to catch up on. I bid you good night.
Thank you for your hospitality.
And he walks away past you all into another room. What seems to be maybe a bedroom off the. When I say past you all, he goes into that main living area, and he goes into another door that way. And you hear it close, ka-tunk, and you hear shunk, click, clack, like latches and locks.
Like it's a New York apartment. Got it.
Yeah.
So we should still set up watches for tonight.
I'm down.
So I'll take the first one.
Okay. Is anybody taking first watch with him?
I'm an elf, so
I'll
I
take the
only
last
need...
four. Take the last now.
So you want
All
to take
I want to know is who's coming with me.
you want to take first watch with him, Kaylin?
Yeah, I can do that.
Anybody want to do mid watch?
Mulgar will do it.
Before we go to sleep, there's one thing I would like to do. And I would like to go over to, Maul would like to go over to Caitlin, and he would like to inspect the bite area where the vampire fledgling bit her. And I want her to do the same for me afterwards.
I'm down.
So, first of all, Mala needs you to make a medicine check.
Okay, I'm good at those.
Then at disadvantage. No, I'm kidding.
Yeah, I was gonna say, don't tell the DM that'll change it.
14.
14. There's definitely 2 puncture wounds. It looks like, of course, there's going to be blood. You know, you all are
Is it
kind of
still pouring out?
no, it's clotted, just like any other wound would be. You all are not clean people right now because you all have been through the mud and the blood and everything else. Now, you've had some nights to get cleaned up and stuff when you were staying at the Blue Water Inn, but you've not really seen that recently. So, wounds and blood are not anything new, but you do notice a little bit of the skin looks a little blackened around where the puncture wound is, around the edge of it.
Okay.
And once you, are you going to tell Kaylin that?
Yes, I'm going to tell her.
So you would tell her what to look for in this, and she sees the same on yours. Because when you separate your feathers, you do see skin underneath.
Right.
So just like a regular bird. So, or a humanoid bird. So she sees the exact same thing that on you that you saw on her.
Okay.
And since you are who you are, I'll give you this. You recognize necrotic damage.
Okay. So I'm going to relay all that to her, and I'm going to tell her. So what I'm primarily looking for here is an infection. We fought fledglings. I would know they're fledglings because Strahd told us, right?
He didn't tell you anything.
No. Okay.
I mean, he just told you that they were his. But you don't know if they were vampire spawn or lords or what.
Those are pretty weak vampires. So
I mean, he almost rocked your face. Ask Mulgar
I'm
about
not
getting
sure
a
what
backhand by a vampire.
I'm not sure
It's twice for some reason.
what's going to happen tonight, but in the morning I'll be able to hopefully help with this. I can't right now. So,
Which one of us was bitten by the vampires? Just you and Caitlin?
Yeah.
yep.
Okay.
Sorry.
That way?
Yeah.
That way.
All right. The 3 that are climbing up the stairs, or climbing up the ladder, you all notice that this is very much a loft bedroom. Smaller. There is a single, the best I can say, you know, they didn't have single queen king beds then, but there is what seems to be a single sized bed frame in the corner, but no mattress, no anything else. There is off across the room a small wardrobe and a nightstand next to the bed. Other than that, there's empty floor, ready for you all to roll out your bed rolls. Mulgar and Enoch, are you all staying downstairs right now?
I will.
Because you all have first watch. Or no, Enoch has first watch. Who else had first watch?
Right. That's it.
Kaylin.
Oh. Yay!
So Enoch and Mulgar, the best place that you could possibly lay your bedrolls would be right in the middle of the living area.
Yep.
Yeah. So,
I'm actually gonna go sit in the like dining room kitchen area on
Mhm.
my watch, close to the, I guess, hearth or something like that.
yeah,
and
I
pull out-
apologize for not explaining that a little better. There is a fireplace hearth in the back.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Pull up a chair right next to there and pull out the captain's pipe that blows skull
Yep.
Smoke?
Okay. Yeah.
and just keep watch.
Okay. Kaylin, were you keeping watch?
I'm guessing. So, Enoch, if you're good there, I'm gonna keep watch a little higher up. Is there a place like near-ish him so I could whisper if I notice?
You could sit right next to the ladder, only upstairs. There is
Okay.
a small window that you've noticed that is
Uh-huh.
across the room near the bed.
Okay.
You can kind of look out
Um,
it every once in a while if you so choose.
Yeah, let me do that. That way, Enoch's looking down where he's at. I'm kind of looking
Okay.
above and everywhere else, and hopefully, if something comes, we'll.
And is there a door between the living area and the kitchen, or is it just an open, like?
It's just open.
Passageway.
It's just an open passageway.
Okay.
Wide passage.
Periodically, I'll get up and like as quietly as I can, go over, check on Mulgar, look through the windows, you know,
Okay.
tuck him in, make sure he's got his teddy.
Both of y'all make perception checks for me then.
Can I just help her and not? Okay.
Yeah, if you want.
Nah, I'll make the roll. Because I know what I'm doing, I think.
Kaylin, what'd you get?
I got a 24.
Okay. Enoch, what'd you get? A 5. Okay. Enoch, this place is really strange to you. You seem more interested in making sure Mulgar's okay, and kind of being who you are, you're kind of looking at that door that the mayor went through too. So you kind of keep more of a watch on it and Mulgar than you are anything else. But Kaylin, oddly enough, you don't hear a lot of the night sounds that you usually hear in Barovia. Like the howling of wolves and stuff like that. You can, if you strain, you can hear it, but it's kind of quiet out, and it's actually kind of nice.
So, more like this area is kind of getting more peace than the other
Almost.
towns.
Okay. But as you all are tucking in Mulgar and looking at different things downstairs and watching through the window and whispering to one another through the night, your watch goes pretty well without anything happening. About that time, you kick Mulgar awake, who's going to take the second watch. And Enoch and Mulgar trade places, and Kaylin, you can actually enter into your trance now if you so choose.
Mulgar, can you read me a bedtime
Um,
story?
No, but I kept the
Yes, I'll go into my 4-hour trance now.
Mulgar.
And
Yes, Kaylin.
will that wake me up a little bit before
It will.
everybody else? Okay, that way I can watch.
Except for Ellen
the
Till.
last little bit. Okay, so that way I can watch the last little bit.
Okay.
as well.
Mulgar, are you keeping watch right where you are, or are you going to take over Enoch's station near the fire?
fire where it's nice and warm.
Okay, great. Go ahead and make a perception check for me then.
20.
Mulgar, it is silent outside. You are used to hearing natural sounds of, well, nature. You haven't heard that in a long time since you've stepped foot in Barovia.
Honestly, pretty sad.
But there is a reprieve here. You don't hear the unnatural things that you hear at the night during the night here. It like just like Kalen, if you strain a little hard, you probably could. But it's almost a relief not to hear. To you, these wolves almost sound somber and sad, as well as angry, and some of them sound like they've gone mad. Just about every other animal that you've seen has been like that as well. But about halfway through your watch, you do hear something. You hear bells coming from what you could only assume is the Abbey of St. Markovia. And they don't last too long, but they do ring out in the night. They're almost sad and lonely themselves. But other than that, you don't hear much. And the rest of your watch goes without any trouble. About that time, as soon as your watch is over, you hear the shuffling of feet as you hear Ellentil awaken from her trance. And you know that she is on next watch. So you can go on to bed, or you can kind of poke your head up and see if she's okay.
I'll poke my head up. See if she's alright.
Ellentil, it's your watch.
All right.
Hello?
I tell Mulgar that he can go to sleep, that I've got this. And I proceed to take watch. During this watch, however, I would like to summon Aurora back.
Okay.
And assuming that works, I would like to, while on watch, talk to her and try and gain some insight as to who the hell my new boss is.
Remind me again, your summon familiar, is that a racial trait or is that a...
So I had asked, and you had told me that it was fine, even though it's not something that the Fae would necessarily have given me.
Okay, so we're going to say that they go ahead and say that they gave it to you.
Mm-hmm.
Because that's what I said to begin with. You take the hour to perform the ritual, because it takes an hour to do summon familiar, correct?
Yes.
Yeah. You take the hour, and you do summon her. And she sees you, and she immediately runs up to you.
Mm-hmm.
And are you sitting or standing?
I am sitting kind of cross-legged, almost like I'm paying attention, but almost like I would if I was meditating.
She runs up and curls up in your lap and rests her head at your knee.
Mm-hmm.
And says nothing.
Odd behavior based off of how she was acting before all of this.
Mm-hmm.
But she says nothing.
She says nothing.
Okay, so I start in Fox. I start talking to her. And just starting out casual, talking about how she seems like chipper this morning or something. I don't know.
And you would know that this is not chipper behavior.
This is not chipper behavior.
Not chipper behavior.
Suspicious.
Protective.
Okay. Okay, now I'm very confused.
She kind of relays back to you. Of course, you can't really have a whole full conversation with her because she's a fox.
I can speak to animals.
You can speak to animals, but it's not like they're going to sit there and elaborate on. Yeah. So she just kind of relays back to you that she is worried and that you angered him. And that's all she says.
Oh.
I'm good. I'm just changing my spells.
So, at this point, Felix is very clearly somewhere he's not supposed to be. At this point, that emotion that Jacob just demonstrated, kind of like I got one over on him. There's a flash of that, and then Ellen Teal realizes just what she's been capable of, and starts to question whether or not it's sane to intentionally poke the bear.
Okay.
And so she'll spend the rest... At this point, we're what, an hour and a half in?
And you haven't done a perception check yet.
Okay, I need to do that. Let me do that now. Oh. Guys, I'm sorry, but that's
You're
a natural one.
Very, very... Oh. You don't really even pay attention to anything other than her.
Mm-hmm.
Other than Aurora. And the information that she has relayed. Because she is curled up tight in your lap.
Mm-hmm.
And head on your knee, looking around.
Mm-hmm. Can I make a perception check on Aurora's behalf if she's looking around?
No.
Okay.
I only say that because...
I figured it was a stretch, but I also figured it was
Yeah,
a shot.
it's that... I mean, because... Well, one, you failed your... Horribly... failed your perception check. But the other thing is, it's almost like she doesn't want to.
Mm-hmm.
Yes, Caitlin.
When do I wake up?
I was just getting ready to tell you that about this time you wake up. Because it's
Okay.
probably been about 2 hours into his shift.
Okay. Do I realize that that she's distracted with...
You're upstairs, so you really haven't seen her yet.
Okay.
I'm upstairs.
Oh, you're upstairs too. I was thinking you were downstairs for some reason. Then yes. I would, well... Yeah, because her eyes would be just on the fox and talking to the fox and petting the
Okay.
fox. And it's just the fox. And it's actually kind of annoying because she's supposed to be watching your all's backs.
What did you say?
So I want to make a perception check.
I'm ignoring that, by the way.
And then I also, after I look around and make sure there's no danger,
Mhm.
go and check on Ellen Teal and Aurora and make sure everything's okay with them.
Go ahead and make a perception check, then.
That is a 21.
Good lord. Everything's quiet. Just like when you first started your watch. As the time goes on, you notice there are a few lights in the distance that are coming on in other cottages, like candles being lit. Other than that, it seems pretty normal. And,
So,
yeah, go ahead.
since it's safe, I'm gonna go check on Aurora and Ellen to make sure they're okay and make sure everybody else is still sleeping. Sound like.
So what do you want to say to Ellen Till then?
I just want to go up to her and say, "Hey, I notice you're. I notice you're a little distracted. Is everything okay?" Knowing she might not tell me, but at least I'm showing I'm supportive.
Ellen Teal will look up from Aurora, and tell her that, I mean, everything's as fine as it can be in Barovia. And stand up, and is the sun starting to come up?
As well as it can here.
Then I'm gonna go start milking the cows.
Well, you don't know where they are.
So we don't go do our chores yet.
I mean, one might say that it'd be wise to wait on the man who's going to tell you where to go.
Okay.
I'm assuming I'm getting up at this point.
Yeah, if you want, because at this point in time, you all hear the clacks and the creaks and the locks being unlocked on the bedroom door, and the door opens, and the mayor emerges in his mayoral get-up once more. And he looks to you all and says, he looks at Enoch and Mulgar, and he kind of stamps his foot on the ground, and he's like, "If you're not awake, rise now, and I will show you where to go." And he walks over to the ladder, and he goes, "Up there, it's time to get up. It's chores. Let's go." He walks over to the pantry area, walks past it, and he returns with a platter, and he just lays it down. And it's just like dried beef, or dried venison, not beef, but dried venison, and, you know, like salted meat and some hard cheese, and that's about it. And he's like, "A little bit of breakfast. Water is outside. Let's get a move on." And he starts walking towards the door. What were you going to say, Mel?
I was going to go up to Caitlin, check on her wound real quick. Is it still the same?
No, it seems to have closed up. It's looking better. You all are back to regular full health now.
Okay.
Oh, sweet. So, like, I go back up to my 69 hit points.
Correct.
Yeah.
I grab some of the venison, cheese, and nosh as I'm walking.
Before he walks out, can we ask him where these animals are?
I will show you. That's what.
Okay.
Yes, that's what I said.
Okay,
Grab food. Come with me.
got you.
He walks over to his door. He unlatches it. He walks outside. Stretches a little bit. People are absolutely, if they pass by him, they duck ahead, you know, and they're like, "Good morning, sir," you know, and "Good morning, Lord," you know, and all this other stuff, and good morning, my lord. And he's a big man on campus here, you can tell. Strapped to his belt is his rapier and dagger. Rapier on the left, dagger on the right. It's ornate, but not overly so. It's nice. Enoch, since you are a proficient in these, you can tell this is a nice sword. And he stops and he waits for all of you to gather up, and he goes, points at Mulgar and goes, "You," and he points off to the distance and not too far away, but it's just like a row of plants, and he's like, "There you will find your work." And he looks at Kaylin and he goes, "In the middle of town there is a chicken coop, large chicken coop. You can retrieve eggs there. You," and he points to Enoch and he goes, "Beside my house. That's where we chop the firewood." And he looks at, he goes, "Bird. Pigs are down this road," and he points the opposite direction. So, like, he points Kaylin up here, he points you down that way. Mulgar, you're in the same area, kind of, as Maul, but not too far away from, I mean, not too close to him, I should say. And he finally says, "Blue one. I forgot already what you were doing." And Ronnie did. You're milking the cows. Yes. And he says, "Cows," and he points towards the direction of the switchback road. He says, "There are 4 cows in a barn on the left side. Do not go towards the switchback road. We're watching." So, with that, I need each of you to make...
That was Ronnie telling me.
That's Ronnie telling Jacob to behave. I need each of you to make rolls. For gathering the eggs, I want you to make a dexterity check. For milking the cows, I want you to make... No.
Animal handling, maybe?
Yeah, that'd be good. Animal handling. I was thinking about that one, but yeah, that would probably be the best, so you don't get kicked in the head. Enoch, I'm sorry, but you're going to have to make a strength check. I know you hate me. I tell you what, since you know how to handle... Is this green sleeves?
I can't hear it.
Oh my.
Oh, give me just a second. I'll unmute the stream.
Comfort and joy. Oh, God rest you merry gentlemen. That's what it is. No.
Yep, that's
Go away.
100%.
What the crap was that?
It's Christmas in April. Come
No,
on.
it is not. Ew. No, I love Christmas music, but not until December 1st. Enoch, I'll give you your choice. Athletics or straight up strength.
Athletics.
Okay. Maul,
What's up?
since you are slopping the hogs, yeah, you give me a strength check as well.
Okay.
The animal handling.
No, his is a little. It's just dumping stuff, and nature check for the druid. All right,
I have straight.
Kaylin, what'd you get?
11.
They can see that you have clearly never gathered eggs. Roll 2d4 for me.
Ooh.
Well, that's.
Ooh, that's a
I'm
lot.
just gonna roll that twice. You said 2d4.
Yes, ma'am.
The first one is a 2. The second one is a 1.
You broke 3 eggs. Ellen Till, what'd you
How
get?
many did I get?
A dirty 1.
Oh, negative. Okay, so you got a 1.
You gave me an
You
ability
get
to where my
you
jump
spend
status
a good hour trying to milk one cow. Finally, you get about a quarter of a bucket full, and the cow moves like tries to get away from you and kicks the bucket over onto the ground, spilling all the milk. You get nothing, and they tell you to please just stand up and leave it alone. We'll handle it from here. And judging looks. Enoch, what'd you get?
It's all part of the master.
I got an 8.
They're distracted.
You roll a d6.
No.
You break 6 hammers. Or sorry, 6 axes.
2.
That's how many pieces of firewood you chopped. And finally, they walk over and say, "You're better off playing a flute or whatever. Go away and let the men handle this."
Ooh.
Maul, what'd you get?
21.
Yeah, you're fine. You slop those hogs really good.
I'm gonna go feed the cat.
You actually come back very clean.
Oh, nice.
You don't get any on you or anything. Mulgar, what'd you get?
7.
You're a druid.
A 4.
These plants are very foreign to you. Roll percentile dice for me.
5.
Huh?
Don't I roll both of them, right?
Yes, sir.
Yeah, I rolled a 75.
75 of the percent of the plants you picked were weeds.
Everybody's gotta have a little bit of weed.
Ooh, he's that kind of druid.
That makes Snoop Dogg like a bard and a druid.
I just got choked.
It's not. It's not. I'm sorry.
It was nice having a string. It was not real. It was not even close to real.
Nope. It's an Allen wrench
It is a wrench
and a magnet.
and a magnet. You are except for Maul, you all are very unimpressive at your chores, but you tried. And most of them give you a pat on the back, and they're like, "Oh, thank you for your help. Please go on about your business." I mean, they pretty much hand you the best trier award and tell you to go on about your day. And except for
I wanna
Maul,
try again.
Nothing at all.
you would like to try again?
I want to try again.
All right, you're going to roll again to see if you can chop wood and show them up.
Can I try on one of the other cows?
Can I give myself inspiration? Like, come on, I can do this. I can do this. I can do
Sure,
this.
I'll allow it. No,
All right, cool.
no. Now it doesn't make sense because the cow is already milked and the eggs are already gathered.
Did I gather any eggs?
Yeah, but you broke. You gathered 12, but you broke 3.
Oh, well, they don't need 15. They're fine.
That's 12, my dear.
Yeah.
Minus
I
3.
I think she thought you meant she successfully
Mentally
gathered 12.
yeah.
And
No, there were 12 and you gathered 9.
Okay, they still don't need 12. They're
Also,
fine.
It's the whole village.
you also said 15.
12 plus 3 is 15.
Okay. Yeah. So I was thinking 14 for some reason, but I see where I made my mistake now. But still, you're a teacher. I'm not. You teach this stuff.
I teach language arts and social studies.
Not you, her.
I was about to say, I do teach this.
If I
All right,
take away
what'd you-
3 eggs from the
Enoch,
basket,
what'd you get?
16.
You actually come back and redeem yourself pretty well. They're like, okay, well, all right. Everyone has a bad morning, but we don't need this much wood. But thank you, thank you. But they're actually impressed now. So yeah, it was kind of one of those like, maybe if we piss him off enough, he'll be able to actually do his job right. And you did.
I'm sad though. I rolled an 18 for this one, so that was going to be a 23.
But yeah, but there are trees everywhere here.
That's true.
But the chickens only lay so many eggs. And the cows only have so much milk.
That's fair.
And once you pick a weed, it ain't growing back.
Oh, that is a lie.
Not that
Tell
particular.
that
Not that particular one. You pull it up out of the ground, roots and all, it's going to grow back.
I guarantee you my grandmother would say yes.
But
And
after
she
that,
is-
you all are free to do whatever you want.
All right.
But remember, they want you gone before Sunday.
Well, we know where we're going. Come on, folks.
Yep. I'm already at the switchback road.
Yep, we're there. I slopped the piggies.
I broke 3 eggs.
Margaret, I'm just gonna ask, should we go kind of like stealthy like? Because won't they like try and stop us?
I think so.
Yeah, maybe.
Because if they catch us, then we don't get to the Abbey and we don't get the.
Well, to be fair, what are they gonna do? To be fair, allegedly.
If we're gonna go stealthy,
Can I just say, can we not do freaking Strahd's job for him? Can we not do that, please?
I'm gonna cast Pass Without Trace.
Okay.
Ooh, pass without a trace? Ooh.
That adds a +10, right?
Yep.
Yeah.
Oh my god, we need it.
Sweet.
Okay.
Oh.
All right. I will
All right.
say, since y'all are doing this, there are, looking at the map, there are woods you can hide in. For a certain amount of time. But then once you get on that second leg of that second switchback, there ain't hiding much. There's really nowhere to hide because it's right out in the open. But you can get there. So everybody roll a stealth check and add 10. Kaylin,
Let me know when
25.
Ellen Teal,
19.
Enoch.
Hold on. 33.
Jeez. Enoch went ahead to the future and is in the campaign that I'm planning for later. Maul.
I got a natural 20 plus 19, so 49.
39, bud.
39? Why?
Natural
I get
20
a plus 9 on...
Natural 20
stealth.
plus 19 is 39.
Oh, 39.
But hey, that's still amazing.
Sorry. I
No,
got a
you're
little too
fine.
excited there.
No, somebody corrected me on math earlier, so I have to correct somebody on math now. Mulgar, what'd you get?
You guys are gonna be disappointed in me. I let everybody down, but I rolled a 23.
There you go. So, Maul is the wind. He just poofs out of existence for a minute. Kaylin and Enoch as well. But everybody, you're yeah. You all hug the tree line as you're going up towards where the switchback road starts, and you can actually hug the tree line for the first leg of this trip. So it will be easy, especially with Pass Without a Trace, to not be seen. So the switchback road that hugs the cliff, as you come around these trees, you notice that the path isn't very wide. But as soon as you hit that, you round that first curve going uphill. So as you're going, it is a steady incline up. And you come around that curve, that first curve, and it's a steady incline going up. Switchbacks suck. But there's only 3. But the road that is hugging the cliff is about 10 feet wide. and it is covered with loose gravel and chunks of broken rock. And the ascent is slow and somewhat treacherous, and the air grows colder as one nears the top. Now remember, when you all entered into this town, you all kind of put your winter clothes back on. So thankfully you all have those on now because it is growing colder. So the road climbs about 400 feet, doubling back on itself twice before reaching the Abbey. So it goes up and up. So I need to know, are you all going slow, or are you going to normal pace, or are you all just gutting it up this hill?
I'd say normal pace, since
Yeah.
Okay.
No one knows where we went. Well, probably. Strahd knows where we went. Strahd always sees.
Yeah.
So if you're going normal pace, once you hit that first switchback, once you hit that other one, go ahead and everybody make 2 dexterity checks for me.
Normal dexterity checks, not saving throws.
Dexterity checks.
Ooh.
Kaylin, what'd you get?
That's better.
The first one was a 16. The second one was a 13.
Ooh, okay. Ellen Till,
I'm sorry, what am I making?
dexterity checks, 2 of them.
Okay. Alright, I got you.
Had to double check my math here, guys.
It's a 12 and an 18.
Enoch.
first one was 23, the second one was 8.
Holy, oh, okay. Maul.
5 and a dirty 20.
Okay. Mulgar.
17 and 21.
Nice. How is it you're getting you're tearing these dex checks up, but you did a 7 on your nature check as a druid? I mean, that's just how it rolls, I guess. I mean, I've done things like that too.
Pun intended?
Huh?
Pun intended?
Yes. Yeah, actually. It could be. So each of you all rolled pretty well, and then not so well. So I'm going to tell you that it takes you probably 3 hours to get up this mountain. Whereas it should probably take you about half that. Maybe a little more. But the road is treacherous. The road is covered in gravel and loose rocks and everything. And it's not very wide. In fact, it's very advisable that you all march in single file going up the hill, Lord of the Rings style. And then you could fit 2 people shoulder to shoulder on the trail, but one might go off the edge.
I'll be at the front.
Okay. That's actually what I was getting ready to ask for, was a marching order.
I'm in the back.
Okay.
Mulgar's in the middle. Always.
Same. I
Middle.
guess I'll be in front of Maul.
And Ellentil, where are you? Where are you?
I said I was right behind Enoch. I'm right behind Enoch.
Thank you.
So it goes Enoch, Ellentil, Mulgar,
No.
Caitlin.
Oh, Kaylin. Yeah,
and then
then
me.
you. Yeah.
In the middle is all things should be.
Mulgar seems to think that neutral just means in the middle of everything.
Yeah, it's very true. There's a light mist that is gathering around the hill, but mostly it's probably from the elevation.
Probably.
The road from the village climbs above the mist. And you see a wide ledge coming into view, and that is where the Abbey is perched. A light dusting of snow covers the trees and the rocky earth, as you climb further and further. The gravel road passes between two small stone outbuildings. Now you see, as you're walking on this road, now you see the Abbey. It is right in front of you. And there is a stone wall that is lining the outside of this Abbey. To either side of which of these stone buildings is about a 5 foot high wall of jumbled stones that is held together with mortar. Blocking the road are iron gates attached to the outbuildings by rusty hinges. They appear to be unlocked. And if you view it through the gate, the stone abbey stands quiet. Its two wings are joined by a 15-foot high curtain wall. So it has two different wings and they're joined by a wall. And a belfry protrudes from the rooftop closer to the north wing. So as you all are looking at that, let me pull up my map. There is my map of this stupid place. There it is. As you all are looking at that, the belfry is off to your left. So basically it goes, there's a wing here, and then the curtain wall, and another wing here, and that's where the belfry is. And you all are looking at, right at one wing and the wall, and then the north wing is up, off to your left.
Okay. Do we see the bell in the belfry?
You don't.
Do we see any bats in the belfry?
You don't. It is one of those belfries that is like shuttered in. There's a bell in there, but it's got shutters on the windows. Now the shutters you can see from here are broken and mispainted. And if you looked, if you had enough time, you could probably just see the glimpse of a bell in there. But that's where the belfry is. But the gates appear to be unlocked, and there's a chimney on that north wing as well, and it's billowing gray smoke. So it appears that someone is home.
Can I do it? Can I do it?
We should knock.
Hey, Abbot!
Oh. No.
Housekeeping.
All right, what y'all doing?
Let's go through the gate.
Yeah.
You want to go through the gate?
Mm-hmm.
Push on forward, I guess.
That works.
The gates, you walk up to the gate and you push them, and they just squeal really loudly as you open them. And then all of a sudden you hear in either side of you in the gatehouses, you hear who goes there? Who is there? And you can see through the open doors on each of them. There are just piles of animal furs, and they're rustling about. And they stop, and you look, and two figures on either side of you come into view. One's probably no more than 4'9", and the other one is about 4'7". So they're both very short. Taller than your average dwarf, probably. But they're smaller than you all of you all. Well, except for maybe Maul. I keep forgetting
I'm
that.
5'2".
Well, you're right there with them. you see one person, instead of standing, well, what you think is a person, standing upright, squatting in the doorway. And he looks like a beardless dwarf. But as he comes into view, you almost see patches of what look to be maybe some sort of donkey flesh? Something covering his face and body. Parts of his arms, I should say. And when he comes into view, he is horrifying. He has one human ear and one wolf ear, and a protruding wolf snout and fangs. And now his arms and his hands are human, but his legs are like almost like a lion. And he has a donkey's tail that you can see whipping behind him. And he comes out, and you hear him kind of like grunting as he comes forward, and he's holding a shovel and using it like a cane with one arm on the ground. And he's wearing just a plain woolen cloak. On the other side of you, you see a person covered in a cloak, but they kind of pull the cloak back a little bit. And you can see that this person's face is covered with lizard scales on the left side and tufts of gray, what seems to be wolf fur on the right side. Now, between these tufts is pale human skin. And you can tell that this is a young woman. One of her eyes is humanoid, and the other one looks almost feline with that slit in the middle. One hand, her right hand is human, but it is covered in green scales, and the other one resembles a cat's paw with opposable thumbs, or the opposable thumb. And she looks at you and says, "Who are you, and why are you here?"
We're here to see the abbot.
No one sees the abbot. And then
Have
you
you
hear,
seen the abbot?
no, see abbot. No, see abbot, coming from the other person.
Why not?
I don't want to see anyone.
He's not seeing anyone?
No.
Can we see him?
And they look at each other, almost confused. And then you see the man that is squatted over. And he's like, and he starts shaking his head, yes. And then the one on the other side, the young lady, looks at him and goes, yeah. She's like, no, see the abbot. You're
What you're saying
stupid.
is one of you is telling us the truth and the other one is telling us a lie?
No, he's stupid. He's confused.
Well, can you point us in the direction so that we can try to see the abbot?
They look at you, and they look at each other, and she kind of scurries past you, like makes a wide berth in front of you, and goes to the other one. And they start whispering to one another. Actually, she starts whispering to him more. And she pulls up that one donkey ear and starts whispering into it. And they look at each other, and they look at you, and they look at each other again. You wait here. We will fetch Abbot.
Okay.
You wait here.
Mm-hmm.
And she kind of shuffles off with her cloak drawn. And he kind of looks at each of you and takes that one big arm. Like, you notice, like, that the right arm that he's down on the ground with is jacked. And he he hits himself on the chest and goes, Otto.
Hi, Otto.
And kind of smiles, which looks really disarming because it's coming from like half a donkey face. And he goes, wait here. Turns around and just kind of goes off, chasing after her, like almost on all fours.
this is gonna get good.
You got a problem with animal people?
I might have a little bit of a problem. I feel like Morgan might be a little disgusted. He's gonna like kind of go back a little bit next to Maul and just kind of like stand there with like a real disgusted, kind of like confused look. And he's just,
You got a problem with animal people?
Can he get
Now,
around?
Off to your right, as you're looking at, you kind of made your way a little bit inside the gate. You couldn't really help it because you opened the gate. Off to your right, you see stunted pine trees that are growing in the rocky earth. And right there, past that, is a graveyard near the foundation of the Abbey's wing, the right wing. The windows of the structure that is in front of you are cracked panes of leaded glass. There are ancient gravestones that seem they almost burst from a crust of snow on the yard. Now, beyond the low wall that surrounds the graveyard, the ground falls away. The village lies 400 feet below that. But if you walk closer, you'll find that the view into the village is absolutely breathtaking.
Do we see the mayor's house?
You can see it from here, yes. But it's small.
Okay.
Not small, but you know what I mean.
Right. Guys, they look like ants.
What is this? Is this a school for ants? While they're gone, is there anything y'all would like to do?
I'm gonna go check out one of the shacks. Just kind of look in and see what's in there.
One that's by shacks. What do you mean?
Like wherever they came from.
Oh, the guard shacks. Oh, I'm sorry. Yeah.
Yeah.
Inside they are pretty barren and cold, except for a big old moldy, musty pile of animal furs that they were sleeping in.
And it's the same thing for both sides?
Same thing for both sides.
Okay.
I want to look to see if our bird friends are
Make a
nearby.
perception check.
Right here.
I know they're here. That's a really bad perception check. That's a 7.
Not that you can see,
Okay.
but you are on top of a mountain that is kind of snow-capped a little bit. You don't really see any wildlife around.
Just the bizarre creatures we just saw.
Just the things
Then where
you
are
just
they
saw.
getting
And the
Where do you think they're
gravestones
getting
off to your right. What is it, Maul?
Where do you think they're getting all the animals from then?
What animals? What do you mean?
The animal skins, the animal fur.
Oh.
Or is
I don't
that
know.
just on the people?
They just had them they were sleeping in them. They look kind of old
Okay.
and moldy and musty.
Okay. I'm going to start going to the graveyard, checking that out.
Okay. As you walk into the graveyard, you notice that carved into each gravestone as you're walking through them is the name of a long dead, what you could probably think is a priest or a nun. Some of the names that you see are included are Brother Martek, Brother Valen, Sister Constance, Sister Lenora. But as you continue walking on, you notice there is a gravestone, an odd one that is kind of on the back side of everything, next to a tree.
Okay. I'll go check it
It is carved with roses, that has roses carved into the stone. And it bears a 3-inch diameter sun-shaped indentation on its east side.
out. Okay.
And engraved and beneath the indentation is the name Petrovna.
Provna. Okay.
Yes, Enoch.
I see him.
Yeah, you see him wander off, yeah.
Yeah, but like when he goes towards that.
He walked around a corner.
Okay.
So no, you don't see him go to that.
All right. Fair enough. Hey, Kaylin, can you keep an eye on him, make sure nothing happens?
Sure.
Does it look like these graves have been disturbed at all?
No, they just look really old.
Okay. Can I cast... Would I be able to cast Speak with Dead on a grave and not just a corpse, or would I have to, like, dig
You'd
them
have
up
to get
first?
the action. You'd have to dig up a corpse.
Okay.
I suggest not do that.
Yeah, I don't think I should do that. Petrovna is of the... what I would assume is the leader of the followers that went to go try and kill Strahd.
You tell me.
I'm going to go back to the rest of the group. I'm going to tell them what I saw, and tell them my theory as well.
Does the name sound familiar at all, guys?
Petrovna.
Looking back through notes, not that I recognize.
Is it in Strahd's book?
That
No.
I can look up. That was quick.
Okay.
Well, you've read it enough to know that you would. Well,
Recognize it.
You would recognize it.
This person is, I'm guessing, someone of deep importance, and this is obviously a place there's probably been a church, and these people care about them, obviously, otherwise they would have been digged up or dug up. But it doesn't look like they have been dug up at all.
No, they don't look like they've been dug up at all. Not that you can tell.
Right.
So this is me just also, this is the main reason I was scrolling through notes. Is this the same location we're also looking for that other seed for the Wizards of Wine?
No.
No, okay. I didn't think so, but I also
Mm-hmm.
started thinking it was and wanted to double check.
No, it is not.
Okay.
I'm gonna use the Sending Stone to Von Richten.
Okay.
And hey, does the name, and I probably mangle it, Petrovskaya, whatever it's
Petrovna.
supposed to be, Petrovna,
Petrovna.
have any significance to you?
And he says, it takes him a second. He says, Tasha Petrovna. Hold on. Let me get my notes up here. I want to make sure I tell you everything just right.
Which means, Jacob, get your fingers ready if you don't want me typing.
That's if I say it out loud to you guys.
I still like to type it in the notes. I just don't generally. I generally make a comment about who knows it.
Wahaha. Yeah, no, that's fair.
Tasha Petrovna was, and he's telling you this. I just don't feel like putting on trying my terrible German accent. She was actually, yes, she was part of the first wave to stand up against Strahd. She was known as the Healer of Kings. Light into the West, Servant Companion. And more than likely served under Saint Markovia, who was the saint of this church, this abbey. when I say healer of kings, she knew her stuff. And was more than likely a cleric of the Morning Lord.
Yeah, I repeat all that.
Okay.
Hey, before you let him go,
It's not a phone call.
It's not a phone call. It's
using the sending stone.
it's one and done. Remember?
Oh,
You have
we're
your
in the
own.
same area.
At great distances, it's one and done.
Oh yeah, we're at great distances.
And you said
You
cleric of the
have
morning.
your
Morning
own.
Lord.
I know.
Thank you.
LORD. No problem.
So before I use my call, I want to look at Enoch and say, do we know if her, what's it called?
I will tell you this. You would know that his is one and done. Because he made that long distance call.
Yes, but I was more
But he can't
thinking-
call back to you.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I'm talking to.
Oh, Enoch, I'm sorry. Go for it.
Did he get the impression that her, with him saying she was a cleric, that her, I'm blanking on the word.
Yeah, the holy symbol?
Yeah, is what we're looking for.
No.
Okay.
Yeah, he would have told you that she would have had the holy symbol, but this is something completely different.
Okay.
You're looking for the holy symbol of Ravenkind.
Okay,
Hers is the Morning Lord.
Okay. But hers seems to be missing too. Is that?
It seems to be missing from something. Seems to be missing from this hole in this stone.
You know, the last time I had to find bits and pieces for a puzzle, it was in Resident Evil. Just
No
saying.
kidding.
I want the shotgun.
Just out of curiosity, the impression that was left in the velvet where the note was, does that match the hole in the gravestone?
No.
Okay.
I'll give you that one.
Okay.
So then I'm gonna look at Maul and say, was there any other interesting things at the graves that you noticed?
Was there? I pretty much relayed everything. I believe.
No.
Okay.
Other than the view.
Okay. Because I'm an English teacher and I need to know. And pardon the bad pun here, but would it have dawned on Jacob that morning was spelled like not sadness?
Yes, MORNING. Morning. No, that's a good call right there. I'm seriously.
Yeah, but I also wanted to ask just to throw the bad pun out there.
No, get out.
Okay.
And then the other place that we haven't checked was over where the creature things walked off to, right?
No,
Right.
oh yeah. So they walked off towards that wall.
Mm-hmm.
That looks like a main entrance.
Thanks for that.
You're welcome. You're fine. I thought it was funny.
She's on the phone with her mom.
It's fine.
Well, there's nothing else to really look at, so do you guys want to follow him in? Be proactive?
Do we want to follow or do we want to just wait? Because
So, what
Who's
I'm
feeling
going to
super sneaky? Ooh, I know who's feeling super sneaky.
If you say the fox, I'm shooting it.
How far are we from the doors?
Let me check.
while you're checking Maul, what were you thinking?
So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna take. You know how people etch graves?
Oh, like
Like the rubbings?
Yeah, the rubbings.
Yeah.
So from the grave, of the spot that was missing, the little hole.
Well,
I'm going to take.
yeah, you want to try to do a rubbing?
Yes, I have parchment and
Okay.
ink. with pen.
We'll just say that you have some charcoal on you for a spell component.
Okay.
You're roughly anywhere from 150 to 120 feet away from the door.
Okay, so I take a rubbing of it.
Okay. As you all gather up near the fence, near the first gate again, I figure y'all are going to do that anyway, correct? Once you're done here, because there's really nothing else to see other than some old graves. About that time is Ellenteal is about to sneak a fox in, or try to, and everyone's looking.
You don't know that's what
I know you. The doors on this wall swing wide open. Well, not wide open, but wide enough for a man. You see a tall, slender, old man walk out, and dressed in, we're going to say vestments, with a tall hat, white hat, blue vestments, tall white hat.
Like a papal hat?
Kind of like a papal hat. And he stops and looks at each of you, and the two people that were at the two guards that were standing behind him on either side. And he looks, and he flashes an old smile, and he goes, "I see that you have met Otto and Siegfried Bellevue, my two guards." And he kind of laughs when he says that. "I'm the Abbot here at St. Markovia. I want to welcome you to my home and my children's homes." And he kind of reaches out with his hands to each Otto and Siegfried. Yes, Enoch.
Enoch to the abbot. Children, as in flock, or actual, like your children?
Oh, they are my flock.
Fair enough.
You are here for
They
something,
bring
I
in some
know.
pretty major rules.
I've never heard you say anything. I've never heard you here. I've never seen you here before. So I know you are here for something. And I know what that something is.
Can't a girl just go sightseeing in Barovia without getting the 3rd degree? Gosh.
No, because there's no sightseeing in Barovia, you die. No.
Jeez, Abbot. Tell it like it is. You see land to west, you die. You see land to north, you die. South, you die. East, you still die, but not yet.
As you all come around closer to the wall, you notice that there's a 15-foot, this 15-foot high curtain wall that's joining the Abbey in the two wings together. Now, behind its battlements up top, you see what seems to be two guards that are standing at attention. And their features obscured by a little bit of fog. And the doors that he came through are wooden doors that are reinforced with bands of steel. And to the right of that wall is a tarnished copper plaque. You can actually read it. It says the Abbey of St. Markovia, and underneath it says in common, "May her light cure all illness." Now, each of you all make a wisdom check. Perception check, I should say. Sorry.
Perception.
Yeah. Most of y'all have pretty decent passive perception, but I want you to make the check anyway.
14.
14, Enoch.
13.
13, Mulgar.
Natty 1. So
1.
four
Okay,
total.
you are still focused on these two odd creatures that are standing behind the abbot. Ellen Teal.
Nat 20.
Okay, plus what?
1, so 21.
21. Kaylin.
11.
11. Everybody but Mulgar notices that these guards that are on top of the battlement are actually, if you look a little closer, they're scarecrows that are wearing corroded chain shirts and they're clutching rusted spears. They're mostly there just to probably do what they look like they're doing. Why? Okay, we'll go with Kaylin first, and then Enoch.
Do these remind me of the scarecrows from back?
No,
when-
they're wearing chain shirts and spears. They're not carrying scythes.
Is there any odd things about them?
Make a
that I-
perception check. Enoch.
Do they move at all?
No.
Okay.
22.
They look like regular scarecrows.
Okay. I don't trust scarecrows after that
I
last
get it.
episode.
I totally get it.
Ooh.
So the abbot
Um,
walks closer to you a little bit, just by about 4 or 5 steps, and he goes, as I said, welcome to my home, that of Saint Markovia. Before I show you what you seek, where it might be, I have maybe something that you could do for me. There are things that I need. Me personally, I'm just trying to heal the world of its sickness. So there are certain things that I need.
Can
And
I
I
insight
feel-
check this man?
Yeah, go
Yeah,
for it.
I was about to say.
Yes. So I feel that if you've made it this far, there are many things that you can do.
I have a
30, 20.
I have
Go
a
ahead,
passive for,
Maul. What were you saying?
I have a passive insight of 19. Can I just use that?
Cool.
Or do I have to roll?
No. You're making an active check.
Okay.
he's just suspect of everybody.
19.
Okay. Kaylin, what's up?
Can I ask what he needs?
No, he's not done talking yet. I just have hands being raised everywhere. So he says that no. He goes, I need three things. I need a bridal gown. I do not trust these two or any of their brothers and sisters to get anything for me. So I need a bridal gown retrieved for me. There is also something, a woman here in town named Demira Yolinsky. She's going to give birth soon. Her midwife, Kretyana Dolvov. She's going to help her give birth. I need its tears.
The kid's tears?
Yes,
Okay.
the child's tears.
Okay.
And with that, I need one more thing. You may not know, but the mayor here in town, the burgomaster, had a son, Ilya, 14 years old, lost his life. Just recently. I need you to bring him to me. Alive.
Just recently.
The gods of light want the Kreskov bloodline restored. Because it ends with him.
How do we bring him back to life?
Yeah, I can't bring him back to life unless he's been dead in the last minute.
You bring him to me and I will take care of that.
Okay, that seems a little bit more feasible.
Not that good yet.
And we're doing this in trade for
Information, my friend.
Seems like a lot of work for information.
I
A
can
lot of
tell
tangible
you
goods
in
for
here
information.
what you seek and where it is. Because I know
So-
why you are doing it. But you see,
it is here.
it is here. But you won't need it if you do these things for me.
But we won't need it.
No. With
was
these
the
things,
result
I
of-
can cure this world of its illness.
Uh-huh.
What was the
Right.
result of my insight check?
He is absolutely... Either he believes everything he's saying or he's telling the truth. Either way, he believes everything he's telling you.
Okay.
I'm looking for, like, is he a decent person? Like, can I tell that he's, like, malicious?
He has not shown any malicious intent so far. You've not
Okay.
picked up on him. No, you don't pick up on any malicious intent.
Okay.
You all know that he sincerely thinks that he can cure this world of its illness, but if you do these things for him. There's one last thing, he says. One last thing. When you gather these 3 things, yes, there are 4 things. The last thing is, I need water of the bluest kind. From
Purified
Krez.
water or
From Krez.
holy water?
Can we talk about it real quick?
I need it
Before
from the lake in Kresk. Not Kresk, but Velaki.
But you're talking about some high quality H2O.
Okay. Can we talk about it for a second?
If you wish.
Alright, guys. Huddle up, huddle up. So, I see no other choice on this one but to do it.
I mean, I have a spell called Locate Object. We don't need him.
Yeah, Mogar's pretty
Well-
against. It's not. Yeah.
Here's my, and this is in response to what Maul said. The only problem is, and I have my apprehensions about collecting a dead body that's been interned and all of that, but if we use Locate Object and we find it and we push in, we're 1 on his home field advantage, and 2, we don't know how many people he has in there. We could be walking into effectively an army, in which case we're not walking out.
We also only have until the end of today
don't think they're gonna come find us and throw us out.
I think they might come find us if they figure out this bad stuff. We're already in hot water some other places.
Like Valaki.
Where is this water from? Yeah.
Yeah, so like, there's really no way we can get back there unless we cash in some favors if we have any.
We don't.
We don't.
We might. We might.
What are you thinking?
Well, if we talk to... Hold on. Paper with names on it. If we talk to Luvesh, we can probably get the clear water without ever having to go into Valaki. Otherwise, we're just going to dip Elentiel into some water and say, look, it's super blue. Does the fox bleed blue?
No.
It's Smurf water.
Right. The transport of a dead body, we don't even know where he's buried, if he's even local and died here.
So, here's my thought.
Also, how do we get baby's tears?
Well, we would have to bribe the midwife.
We show him Mulgar.
I'm pretty beautiful. That
I
baby's
can just take the baby.
And I stop and I look at Maul. I'm like, we're gonna come back to that. And
What?
I turn back to about the mayor's dead son. If we can somehow convince the mayor that we can bring his son back.
Hold on a second, guys. I'm listening.
And then maybe in turn, he could collect the water from Valaki? I don't know.
I feel like we should pry a little bit and ask, how is he going to bring him back to life? I know he said, like, just bring him here and I'll do it, but, like, I mean, is he going to, like, bring him back to life? And
He's
Morgar's
gonna
gonna,
be
like,
a zombie.
yeah, I gotta point to the ugly things that's behind him and be like,
I think there are questions that we need to ask the abbot before we make a decision, and even then, I'm still very apprehensive.
So, thinking back to what you did before we started our journey here to with the vampire spawn, is there a way you could do that to this guy?
You asking if I can put him to sleep?
Yeah.
I can
Probably
put him
not.
to sleep.
Maybe. I mean,
Because
if he's as squishy as the other mayor was.
if we can put him to sleep, then maybe we can ask his people, his kids. I don't remember the guy's name. And ask
Hello.
him. Yeah, him. Ask him to take us to where the thing is. But we also need to make sure he actually does know what we need.
Right.
Because I feel like he thinks he knows what we need, and he might not.
Irregardless, if we do this, we need that holy symbol.
Mm-hmm.
So that part is non-negotiable.
Yeah.
Are
I
we at
just
least in agreement of that?
I just don't want to kill anybody in the midst of all this.
I agree. We don't want to kill anybody. I bite my thumb at Enoch. And then we don't want to kill
Oops, the
anybody.
crossbow went off. Ooh, nat 20, never mind.
No!
No.
Sleep could potentially work. But here's my only thing. If we piss this guy off, what's gonna stop him from taking his anger towards us out on the innocent people in the village?
True.
Untimely death.
what's stopping him from not already doing that right now?
Yeah,
Right.
seriously.
Like, we didn't move away. We're still within earshot.
No offense, but Baby Tears is kind of witchcrafty.
I'm sorry. Baby tears is not the thing that I
The corpse?
digging up a dead body and reviving it without the father's permission.
Well,
I mean, I'll do that
We
to you
might be able
guys
to
all
get-
the time.
Again, we will get back to you, Maul. I have so many questions.
why don't we try that locate object spell that Ma was talking about? Say we're gonna go do those things for him, and then just sneak back in here.
Can I ask him?
Right.
While y'all are
None of us are
talking,
super sneaky.
I mean, I could get it myself.
Go ahead,
I'm gonna-
Kaylin.
Pretty sneaky.
I'm gonna go and like talk to him and say, hey, I just want to ask a question. What is it exactly do you think we need?
You think you need a weapon against Strahd. You
And
think
what
you
are
need
thinking?
the final... Please, allow me to talk.
Okay.
Your final... Your final piece to the puzzle. This holy symbol. I know
Told you he
things.
was listening.
I know what you seek. It is here. And I will tell you. But the information that I have for you is not only where you can find it, but you will not need it. You see, Strahd is merely looking for a bride. And the things that you have, that I need, will allow me to provide a bride for Strahd.
And I chime in at this point, overhearing him say that, and I say, it's not a bride. It's not any bride. It's, and this is gonna sound crazy, but in Strahd's mind, it's his original bride, however long later. Because I've seen the statue, I've seen the woman he hunts, and it's uncanny.
You do not think that Strahd does not know that that woman does not love him?
I don't think he cares.
You know nothing of Strahd.
And
I
we
know of Strahd. And I will notice, hold on, I'll get to you. And I will know, and I know he is looking for love. And I can provide him a loving bride that will take his mind off this. And I can cure the sickness in this land. You, little one, what do you want?
I was more trying to get my party's attention, like I would be tapping.
Well, you need to be more discreet when you do so.
Like, mind you, 4 of us are still circled around. You walked away.
It's true.
So-
and homegirl apparently started saying something.
Yeah,
So I'm
because
gonna
you're
say-
not being quiet.
We're not.
gonna come over back. I'm gonna look at him and say, "Give me a second."
You be quick. You don't have all day.
We really don't.
No,
I
we
know.
really don't. And I'm gonna come back over to that's a little creepy. And I'm gonna come back over to the party and I'm gonna say, I think I have a way to solve this without us having to do any of this.
Oh, by all means.
And I'm
Yeah,
gonna
I'm
say-
interested in this too.
you guys remember how Strahd reacted my first night in town? And he tried charming me?
Mm-hmm.
What if instead
Mm.
I say
Where this is going,
That-
it is such a bad idea.
This is a terrible idea.
a terrible idea,
Let's sacrifice one of our tanks.
but if that would allow him to show us,
What's a tank?
What you want to give yourself up
You,
for this?
buddy.
I am saying I can sacrifice. This hurts me so much to say. I could say I'm sacrificing myself instead of us having to go through bringing back everybody.
And you're saying that to him?
Well, I'm saying this to the party to get the party's thoughts.
Are you whispering this, or are you saying it in
Yes.
your normal voice?
No, I'm like I'm literally in our little huddle saying.
And he
all
finally
these lines.
goes, "My patience grows weary.
Hold on.
I've been holding on for
Wait.
some time."
I know. Give us another moment, please. Please. We thought what you said was crazy. This might have topped it. And, like, I'm not even looking at him. Like, I'm giving Kaylin the most, like, are you out of your damn mind?
I take my glaive and I just hit her with the flat side of it.
And
No.
kabong!
But. My
Oh no,
thought-
she still had the idea. Hit her again. No, I'm kidding.
But my thought is, if this could get us inside, then maybe I don't even have to go through with it.
So, to
We
get us...
have all
So you're
parts.
wanting to lie to this guy.
It doesn't matter. We still need the thing.
Yes, I agree with that, but I want to remind everybody of what the mayor said. This guy's been around since he was a child and hasn't aged a day.
He looks kind of old. I think he's aged at least one.
Oh, I have a couple questions for him first too. Anyways,
Okay.
Right. We are so far off the rails here.
We could easily go and do all of the stuff he wants, but if his thought is Strahd needs a bride.
Okay. We don't know when Homegirl's given birth, and we have until sundown today.
Enough. Do you accept?
We'll do it. Just
Do you accept or not?
Oh my god.
Ellen's he'll choose.
I'm
You've been
gonna put my
voluntold.
hand on Enoch's shoulder and I'm gonna whisper and say, "Do you want me to?"
No!
It's gonna hit you with this again.
Great.
You are rude.
All right.
Stop hitting her.
Mulgar. We need to do this. I don't see any other way around it. We still need those items. Period.
Just
Margaret's
we can
just
always
gonna-
kill him later.
Bite his tongue. Oh, he's gonna look at you and be like, "We're not killing nobody. He's gonna bite his tongue and just look away and just shake his head and just whatever happens happens."
I don't see any other way around this.
Do you want the
we-
whole?
Oh, you go on. I'll ask my question after yours.
Do you want the whole baby or just?
I need its
tears.
tears.
Do we know when this baby's being born?
I
Because
could
we
tell
have
you
to
if you accept.
Why do we have to accept to get critical information?
Because
To
once you
decide whether
accept,
we
I can
accept.
give you the information that you need. But then, why would I tell you things that don't matter to you? Or you could enact some sort of plan to spoil mine. So if you accept, you give me your word, I will give you the information you need, and you come back here, and you get your holy symbol, and you go on about your
Guaranteed
way.
You will give us the holy symbol.
I will tell you exactly where it is. It is in
And we
here.
can take it from here.
Yes. For no reason, because he will be happy with the bride that I have for him.
Oh, you already have the bride.
She is there.
Here?
Here. She is there. And he
Okay.
points towards the Abbey.
Okay, no. That I'm not.
Okay, so
I
do
accept. I accept.
I have one last question, and then I will.
Your
give you
questions
my answer.
are bothersome.
I know, but this is for my peace of mind. I need to know this answer. You say you already have the bride, so that gives you need for the wedding gown. Tears from a baby, that doesn't bother me.
For a blessing.
You say
Fertility.
that the gods of light want the Kreskov bloodline.
What is your question?
I know that playing with life and death is tricky. Is this kid gonna be a kid, or is he gonna be a shell of what he was before he died?
He will be alive.
Truly alive, or as
Truly
in he has a
alive. I can do things that you cannot.
I mean, I point to mouth. He can do things you can't, like be a bird. I accept.
You speak too quickly, sir.
I accept.
I already accepted.
No, about becoming things that he cannot.
He's saying that he could be a bird. I accept.
I'll accept.
3. Not the whole baby mouth. Just the tears. Just say you accept.
I mean, the party's.
I'm with the party.
majority
Yeah,
vote.
the party's already got a majority vote. I'm not.
All right,
It's
so
me to where I am, so let's just do it.
We
Two
have
of the
4
things
accept
you
and
can
1
find
abstain.
here in the village. What's
Body
the
and the baby
problem
thing.
here, guys? Come on!
How much of it can we find here in the village?
2 of the 3.
Of
Two of
the
the
4.
three. Two of the, well, 3, and then the 4th one is the most important. Don't know why I'm still speaking like this.
Because it's fun.
It is fun. You all
Okay,
accept.
so-
Please, be quick. It's not even midday yet. It's just shy of midday. I could say you have all these things and be back here, except for the 4th, by sundown. Do not worry about being let back into this town. They will let you in. Now, gather my things and be back.
Hey, where's the body?
You'll have to talk to him to find out.
Present. All right. When's the baby being born?
Tonight. Or today.
Okay.
And he looks up at the sun. Well, what passes for a sun. And he says, within the hour.
Okay. Where's the dress?
Have you heard of the Walk Their House?
Oh my god.
The water house or the watcher house?
Watch Your House.
So another place we cannot physically.
Okay, Valaki.
Okay, Mogar has some ground here, just saying.
Yep. Everyone but Ellentil does. We just get put in the stocks.
Now, good luck. May the morning Lord shine on you.
As they say in my country, deuces, and I start walking.
And with that, we will call tonight's session.
So, just for notes for next session, I want to talk to what's his name?
You make
Yeah,
those
but-
notes and then bring them up next session.
Okay.
Because I will never remember.
The title of the session should be, Hey, Abbey!
The title of the session is, you mean that big creepy building on the hill? That Abbey?
So,
Oh,
I
no.
think it should just be called Abbey Normal.
I think it should be
Yes.
just be called question marks because there were so many questions. Which is fine.
It should be titled Valaki, There and Back Again.
There and back again.
I just had a brilliant idea.
It should be entitled Valaki. Ah, crap. If you're watching, I do love keeping you in suspense, Victor. I thank you so much for watching. If anybody else is watching as well, you're awesome, and we will see you again next Tuesday. You'll see my big ugly head on here playing video games other days too. So, y'all have a wonderfully blessed night, and we will talk to you later.
All right. Bye, guys.
Bye. So, I'm just saying, I could steal the baby.
No, I had a.
But, like,
Look at
I'll be back.
Okay.
I'll be back.
Let's be honest. Maul just went from we know nothing about how sketchy his character is to we're really questioning how sketchy this guy is. I beheaded a guy who was legitimately evil. Did I go about handling things the right way? No. But was there reasoning behind it?